The universe was quiet, so quiet that even the smallest sound seemed to echo across the stars. Far from Earth, a small alien world was burning. The Talari people, once proud and peaceful, were losing everything. Their cities were shattered, their skies filled with smoke, and their fields had turned to ash. No one knew why the machines had come, or how they had grown so powerful. But the Talari knew one thing: they could not fight alone. Elran, the Talari leader, stood on the edge of a broken tower. The wind was hot and dry, whipping his robes around him. He looked at the ruined city below. Fires burned in places where people had once lived. The cries of the dying echoed in his ears. He had no weapons left, no armies, and no allies, only hope. Hope that someone, somewhere, might hear their plea. Elran activated the communication beacon. The device shivered and hummed in his hands. He spoke in the old language, a mix of sounds and pulses that carried through space. The message was simple: "We are dying. Please, someone, help us." The signal stretched across light years, reaching far corners of the galaxy. It was a call for help, desperate and urgent. The Talari had sent messages before, to great empires and powerful races. Sometimes they received answers, but never fast enough. This time, Elrond hoped for a miracle. He did not know that the message would travel in the direction of a small, blue world known for its dangerous environments. A world that humans called Earth. On Earth, in Houston, Texas, the Deep Space Monitoring Center was quiet too. The screens blinked with numbers and signals, most of them ordinary. Riley Morgan leaned back in her chair, rubbing her eyes. She had been monitoring signals for hours. The room smelled faintly of coffee and old electronics. Jack Turner, the engineer, sat beside her, frowning at a display. "Riley, you need to see this," Jack said. He pointed at the screen. The signal was faint, irregular, but it was there. Patterns appeared that did not match anything known to humans. "It's not a star or a comet. This is something else." Riley leaned forward, her eyes narrowing. She had been doing this job long enough to know when something unusual appeared. "Run a full analysis," she said. "Filter out all natural sources. I want to know where it is coming from and what it is." The computers hummed and beeped. Lily Hart, the team's medical officer, came over with a cup of coffee. "You two look like you haven't slept in days," she said. "What is it?" Riley shook her head. "We don't know yet. Jack thinks it's a signal. But it's strange, almost like it's calling for something." The team worked through the night. Eric Randall, the pilot, joined them, yawning. "If it's another false alarm, I swear I'm taking a nap for a week," he said. Riley ignored him, focused on the data. The signal was unusual, very precise in its repetition, but also chaotic in parts. It did not follow any patterns humans use for communication. After hours of work, Jack spoke again. "This is intelligent. Someone, or something, is sending this deliberately. It's not random noise. It's a call for help." Riley's heart beat faster. She had read stories about lost civilizations, messages sent across the stars that never reached anyone. If this was real, someone out there was in danger. She glanced at her team. "We can't ignore this," she said. "We may be the only ones who can respond." The next day, Riley went to the United Earth Council. The council chamber was enormous, with tall windows that looked out over the city. She stood before the representatives, her voice steady. "We have received a distress call," she said. "It is not from any human colony, and it is not from anything we know. Someone is asking for help, and it is urgent." A council member, older and stern, frowned. "Riley, the universe is full of strange signals. How do we know this is real?" Riley held up a data pad. "Because it is intelligent. The pattern is too precise, too deliberate. It is a civilization in danger. If we do nothing, they will die." Another member spoke. "Humans are still recovering from the wars. We cannot risk sending people to an unknown world. It may be a trap." Riley shook her head. "We do not know if it is a trap, but we do know what it feels like to be alone against impossible odds. Humans grew up on a harsh planet. We survived when others thought we could not. We are not afraid to help those in need." The council debated for hours. Some feared the risks, some worried about politics. Riley stayed calm. Finally, after much discussion, the council agreed. A volunteer mission would be sent to investigate the signal. It would be small, careful, but it would go. Riley returned to her team and told them the news. "We leave in 48 hours, she said. Jack grinned, almost unable to hide his excitement. Finally, something big. Finally, a real mission, the team prepared. They checked the ship's engines, stocked medical supplies, and ran simulations for every possible scenario. Mason Clark, the tactical officer, reviewed combat plans. He shook his head at the unusual mission. "This is not like anything we've trained for," he said. Riley nodded. "We may not know what we will face, but we will face it together. That is what humans do." On the night of departure, the crew stood on the launch platform. The sky was clear, and the stars stretched endlessly above. Riley looked up, thinking about the Talari, about the unknown world that needed help. She did not know if the mission would succeed. She did not know if they would return. But she knew one thing: they had to try. The engines roared to life. The ship lifted from the ground, climbing toward the stars. Earth became smaller and smaller, a pale blue dot against the darkness. Inside the ship, the team worked silently, preparing for the unknown. The Talari's plea had reached them. Humans would answer. As they left the solar system, Jack checked the signal again. "It's still there," he said. The pattern pulsed faintly on the screen. "It's waiting," Riley nodded. "Then we will not let it go unanswered." She turned to her team. "Remember, we are humans. We survive the impossible. And now, we bring hope to those who have none." The ship drifted into the void. Planets and stars passed by as they moved closer to the source of the signal. Each day brought new calculations, new dangers, and new challenges. The crew worked tirelessly, their minds focused on the mission ahead. They did not know the horrors that awaited them. They did not know the machines that would rise. But they knew that humans faced danger and did not back down. In the darkness of space, a small light pulsed faintly. It was the Talari beacon, a cry for help that had traveled across light years. Soon, humans would answer, and the galaxy would begin to see a species it had never understood. A species that thrived on hard worlds, that faced death every day, and that would fight when no one else would. The universe was quiet still, but not for long. Humanity was coming. The human ship moved steadily through space, leaving the solar system behind. The stars stretched endlessly outside the windows, cold and distant. Inside, the crew worked quietly, checking instruments and monitoring the mysterious signal. The closer they got to the source, the clearer the signal became. It was no longer a weak, faint pulse. It was strong, urgent, and full of fear. Riley Morgan sat in the command chair, her eyes fixed on the screens. Jack Turner leaned over the navigation console, running calculations for their approach. "Riley," he said, frowning, "whatever sent this signal is not like anything we've seen before. The readings are destroyed. It looks like the planet's surface has been bombarded with energy weapons. It's a ruin." Lily Hart stood nearby, her arms crossed. "If this place is as bad as you say, it may be dangerous for us just to land," she said. "We don't know what we will face." Riley shook her head. "We cannot ignore it. Someone is alive. Someone needs help. That is why we are here." Mason Clark, the tactical officer, checked the weapon systems. "I've never seen damage like this. The machines responsible. They are precise and deadly. We need to be careful." As they approached the planet, the first images came into view. It was worse than anyone had imagined. Massive craters scarred the surface. Cities had collapsed into rubble. Enormous fires burned in places where there had once been life. The air shimmered with heat and dust, though no wind reached them at their altitude. "This is terrible," Eric Randall, the pilot, muttered. He had flown through dangerous weather and asteroid fields before, but nothing like this. "I've never seen a planet look so dead and alive at the same time," Riley nodded. "We need to find survivors. Jack, can you locate the signal's strongest point?" Jack studied the readings. "Yes, it's coming from what used to be a city center. Most of the structures are gone, but there is some kind of energy field still active. That must be where they are hiding. The human ship descended carefully. The atmosphere was thin but breathable, though it burned their lungs slightly with every breath. Clouds of dust swirled around the ruins. The crew could see shadows moving below, figures running among the rubble. The Talari were still alive, though barely. Riley led the landing party. Jack, Lily, Mason, and Eric followed. Their boots crunched over broken stone and metal. The air smelled of smoke and ozone. Every sound echoed across the empty streets. Finally, they reached the survivors. A small group of Talari, strange in shape and tall, with long limbs and shimmering skin, emerged cautiously. Elrond, their leader, stepped forward. His eyes widened as he saw the humans. "You came," he said softly, almost in disbelief. "I did not think anyone would come." Riley nodded. "We received your signal. We are here to help." Elrond looked at her, confused. "You are fragile. Your world is small. Your body's weak compared to the machines. Why did you come?" Riley smiled faintly. "We survive hard worlds. We do not back down from danger. We know what it feels like to be alone, fighting for survival." The Talari looked at them with a mixture of awe and hope. They led the humans to a hidden underground shelter. Inside, the walls were scorched, and the air smelled of fear and smoke. Survivors huddled together, some injured, some in shock. Many had not seen another living being for weeks. Jack examined the technology left behind. "These machines are advanced. They adapt to everything. They are not like anything we know." Mason nodded. "They are relentless. No mercy, no pause, no mistakes. We need a plan that they cannot predict." Elrond spoke quietly. "We thought we were alone. Every call we sent went unanswered. We believed the galaxy had forgotten us." Riley placed a hand on his shoulder. "Humans never forget a call for help. We may be far away, but we hear it. And now, we are here." The humans spent the next few hours assessing the damage and the survivors. Lily treated injuries with basic supplies, explaining to the Talari how to clean wounds and prevent infection. She showed them how to move and care for broken limbs. The Talari watched closely, amazed at how humans could manage in such conditions with limited tools. Jack and Mason explored the ruined city with Elrond, looking for information about the machines. "They move fast," Elrond said. "They destroy everything they touch. They do not stop. No one can fight them and survive." Riley listened carefully. She studied maps of the city and satellite images. She realized the machines were not random. They had a pattern, a central point controlling them all. If humans could reach that point, they could disrupt the machines' coordination. "That is our plan," Riley said firmly. "We strike at the heart. We will disable their control and stop this destruction." Elrond shook his head. "You cannot. It is too dangerous. No one has survived going there." Riley looked at him. "Humans survive what others cannot. We are called Deathworlders because our planet taught us how to live in danger. We do not quit, and we do not leave anyone behind." The Talari began to understand. They watched humans move through broken buildings without hesitation. Humans walked over sharp metal and through fire without fear. The survivors whispered among themselves, realizing that humans were different. Humans could survive where others would die. Riley organized the plan. Jack would modify weapons to make them more powerful and unpredictable. Lily would train the Talari medics. Mason would teach the Talari soldiers human combat techniques. Eric would pilot the ship through dangerous areas that no one else could navigate. Preparations took days, but every day the Talari learned more about humans. They learned to move faster, to fight smarter, to use fear as a tool instead of a weakness. The humans were relentless, focused, and fearless. Finally, the time came to depart for the core of the machine territory. The survivors gathered to watch. Elrond approached Riley. "I do not know if you will return," he said quietly, "but you give us hope that we thought was gone forever." Riley nodded. "Hope is why we survive. Even if we do not return, someone must try. We are humans. We answer the call." The humans moved out with the Talari following closely. They traveled through ruined streets, avoiding patrols of machines. Jack's weapons tore through enemy scouts in ways no one expected. The machines hesitated, recalculated, and adapted, but the humans were faster. As they reached the edge of the central zone, the full scale of the Cauldron forces became clear. Thousands of machines moved like a single mind, covering the landscape with metal limbs and deadly energy. Even the Talari faltered at the sight. Riley took a deep breath. "Remember what I told you," she said to her team. "We survive impossible worlds. We survive danger. We are humans. Now, we step forward, not back." With that, the human and Talari forces moved forward into the heart of danger. The machines did not see them coming. They did not understand the unpredictability, the courage, the sheer survival instinct of humans. Each step brought them closer to the control center, and each step taught the Talari what it meant to survive against impossible odds. They fought through ambush after ambush. The humans taught the Talari to strike fast and move faster, to use the environment as a weapon. Jack's modifications created explosions and energy bursts that confused the machines. Lily treated injuries in the field, keeping the Talari alive even under heavy attack. Mason led small squads through the enemy lines, showing the aliens how to fight with both precision and recklessness. Eric maneuvered the ship overhead, providing cover and rapid extraction when needed. Slowly, steadily, the human-led force moved closer to the core. The Talari began to believe they might survive. They began to understand humans, the species that thrived on Deathworlds, that faced danger every day, that would fight when others would hide. As the sun set over the ruined landscape, Riley stood on a small rise, looking at the horizon. The central control node was still far away, but she felt hope. Humans had brought hope to a dying world. The galaxy would see what humans could do. And in that quiet, burned world, something shifted. The machines paused. They did not understand the humans. They did not understand why they survived. They did not understand why these fragile beings, born on a dangerous world, had come to face impossible odds without fear. The humans pressed on, the Talari following. Learning. The first lesson was clear. Humans did not run from death. Humans did not hide. Humans answered the call. No matter how impossible it seemed, the galaxy would remember this day, and the Talari would never forget the arrival of the Deathworlders. The humans and Talari paused for a brief rest. The ruins of the city lay behind them, smoke still rising from the scorched earth. The air was heavy with dust and heat, but the crew pressed on. Riley Morgan studied the maps and the readings from Jack's instruments. The machines were everywhere, moving as if one mind controlled them. Every step forward was dangerous. "We need a plan that the machines cannot predict," Riley said. Jack nodded, already thinking of ways to modify their weapons. "I have ideas," he said. "We can use the terrain to our advantage. We can create diversions. We can make them attack shadows instead of us." Mason Clark trained the Talari soldiers. "Don't fight like you always do," he said. "Fight like humans. Move fast, strike hard, and use everything around you. The machines cannot read instincts like ours." The Talari struggled at first. Their bodies were longer, their movements slower in some ways. But they learned quickly. Humans led by example, running through fire, climbing rubble, dodging attacks. Slowly, the aliens began to understand. Survival was not just about strength, it was about courage, speed, and creativity. Lily Hart worked with the medics. She showed them how to treat injuries quickly. "You do not need perfection," she said. "You need speed and accuracy. Keep them alive, then move on. Never stay in one place too long." The Talari watched in amazement as humans treated injuries that would have been fatal to most species and kept moving forward. Eric Randall flew the ship overhead, scouting the path ahead. "There are patrols ahead," he said. "They are scanning the ruins. We need to move now or they will detect us." Riley made the decision. "We move. Humans do not wait for safety. We move while we can." She led the team down narrow alleys and shattered streets. Jack set small charges to distract the machines, explosions creating smoke and fire that confused them. Mason led Talari's squads in small, fast attacks, then disappeared into the shadows. The machines were relentless. Their metal limbs tore through buildings and ground alike. Energy beams lit the streets, striking anything in their path. But the humans pressed on, using speed and tactics to survive. The Talari began to cheer as they saw humans move without fear. Dodging attacks and striking back with precision, Riley stopped for a moment on a hill, looking back at the path they had crossed. "Every step matters," she said. "We cannot stop now. The machines will learn if we pause too long." Jack worked quickly to modify the weapons. He created small pulse devices that could disrupt machine sensors. "They will not know what hit them," he said with a grin. The Talari watched, amazed at human ingenuity, as the devices created confusion among the enemy forces. Machines struck each other by mistake, giving the humans a chance to advance. Lily treated a Talari soldier, who had been injured by falling debris. "Stay still," she said calmly. "We can fix this. It will hurt, but you will survive." The soldier looked at her with wide eyes. "Your people, they endure so much pain and keep going," he said. Riley nodded. "We do not give up. Never. That is how humans survive." The group reached a narrow canyon. The machines had blocked most paths, but humans saw a route through rocks and shadows. Eric piloted a small craft down the canyon, allowing humans and Talari to ride safely while avoiding patrols. "Hold on," he said. The wind and dust whipped past, but the crew held tight, trusting his skill. Once on the other side, they regrouped. The central control node was closer now. Riley could feel it in the readings. The machines moved faster, but with less coordination. Jack smiled. "They are getting nervous," he said. "We are doing this." Mason trained the Talari in new tactics. Use the environment. Use fear. The machines cannot think like humans. They cannot predict what we will do next. That is our advantage. The Talari began to move with confidence, striking quickly, then disappearing before the machines could react. As night fell, the humans set up a temporary camp. Small fires burned safely, and the Talari gathered around. Elrond approached Riley. "We have never seen beings like you," he said quietly. "Your courage. It is more than we expected. Why do you risk so much for us?" Riley looked at him calmly. "We answer calls for help. When someone cries out, humans hear it. We do not leave others to die when we can act." Jack adjusted sensors to monitor the machines. "They are reorganizing," he said. "They are trying to find a way around us. But we keep moving. We always keep moving." Eric checked the skies. "They are scanning the area, but the canyon helped. They do not know where we went. For now, we are safe." Lily tended to a group of injured Talari. "Stay calm," she said. "You are not alone. Humans will protect you, and we will heal you. You can trust us." The aliens nodded, understanding that humans could survive impossible odds because they never stopped. The humans planned the final approach to the control node. Riley gathered the team. "This is it," she said. "The machines have a central point. If we strike it, we can end their control. It will be dangerous. They will fight harder. But we are humans. We survive impossible missions. Now we step forward together." Jack checked weapons one last time. "Everything is ready," he said. "Pulse devices, explosives, energy disruptors. The machines won't see it coming." Mason briefed the Talari. "Follow the humans. Watch, learn, and fight like we do. Speed, courage, surprise. Remember, we are Deathworlders. Danger is our home." Elrond gathered his remaining people. "We follow you," he said. "We have learned what it means to survive. Humans have taught us courage. Now we walk with them into fire." The next morning, they moved out. The machines were everywhere, but humans led with precision. They used shadows, explosions, and small devices to confuse the enemy. Talari soldiers followed their lead, learning quickly. Humans fought with instinct and intelligence, something machines could not calculate. As they neared the control node, the machines became desperate. They attacked more fiercely, but humans anticipated every move. Jack's devices caused confusion, turning machines against each other. Lily's medics worked in the field, keeping the wounded alive. Mason's squad struck quickly and vanished before the enemy could respond. Eric maneuvered the ship overhead, providing support and extraction if needed. Riley led the ground team, watching the paths, coordinating attacks, and keeping morale high. "Keep moving," she said. "Never stop. Every step counts." Double quotes. Finally, the team reached the outskirts of the control node. The machines were concentrated here, guarding their heart. It was the most dangerous place on the planet. The Talari hesitated, fear in their eyes. Riley looked at them. "This is why we are here," she said. "Do not be afraid. Humans survive when others cannot. Follow us, and we will make it through." The Talari nodded. They had seen humans survive impossible odds. They had learned courage and speed. They were ready. The humans moved forward, stepping into the heart of danger. The machines reacted, but humans were unpredictable. They dodged, struck, and vanished, leaving the enemy confused. Jack's devices created explosions that masked their movements. Lily treated the injured while the team moved. Mason coordinated strikes, hitting weak points. Eric's piloting allowed rapid movement and covered dots slowly. They advanced closer to the control chamber. The machines could not predict human moves. The Talari followed, learning how to fight like Deathworlders. Fear turned into action. Despair turned into hope. Every step brought them closer to the heart of the enemy. Riley looked at her team. "We are almost there. Stay focused. Stay alive. Humans survive impossible odds. Now, we finish this," the Talari whispered among themselves. They had never seen courage like this. Humans had come to a dying world, faced impossible danger, and taught them what it meant to survive. The machines were strong, but humans were stronger in ways they could not understand. Instinct, courage, and the will to live gave humans power beyond technology. As the night deepened, the team pressed on. The control node was close, and the humans led the way. The galaxy had begun to see what humans could do. A species that thrived on hard worlds, that faced danger every day, that did not retreat when all hope seemed lost. The machines were powerful, but humans were unstoppable. They survived when others fell. They answered the call when no one else would. And now, at the heart of the machine territory, the final confrontation awaited.